it's a very small amount of money relative to our federal budget for the president to ask for $5.6 billion to erect barriers. That's a tiny amount of money.
That's correct.
Relative. What I hear you suggesting is with $5 billion, you could do a lot.
With a couple of $1 billion, we can make a significant impact to the southern border. And the northern border is not without risk as well, okay? I personally believe in physical barriers, technology, because as the military will tell you, technology is where you get a force multiplier, and the boots to respond. The boots to respond are absolutely the most critical piece. And I think Border Patrol currently is down 2,000 people in headcount. And the president wants to hire another 5,000 to 7,000 Border Patrol agents. And so you gotta have this force multiplier. When the United States Army goes into a theater of combat, rarely do we have the biggest body count in terms of troops. What we have is all kind of technology to do force multiplier. And so this system, not only is it military grade cameras for daytime and nighttime, but we've also done a lot of work with ground radar. And so all of those technologies come to bear to make the border law enforcement, local, state, federal guy more efficient by directing them. There's a border crossing right now, there's 5 people, there's 10 people.
And that's your secret sauce. The secret sauce is the individual patriot that gets the ultimate reality television. I mean, it could be somebody in Australia, like you mentioned, or whatever. They get the ultimate viewing because they're watching real time happen, and they help protect our country. So it is a citizen patriot, which is what essentially founded our country.
It is a citizen patriot. There's a slide I like to show where the congressional delegation is meeting for the first time, and you see the citizens around. Today, we're very disconnected from our political and our government processes. But if you go back to World War II, Civil Patrol, super effective at protecting us from the enemy at that time, Germany and Japan. And this is just a modern day Civil Patrol. I refer to it as a crime-fighting social network.
Yeah, and it's like the neighborhood watch for the country, which is a good thing, and it's an important thing. Some people will complain that it violates civil liberties, but these aren't citizens that are crossing, or they're criminals if they're moving.
You know, when we started the program, that question came up, and what's really interesting is when you're conducting criminal acts, that's different.
You don't get the civil liberty protections.
That's right.
Yeah, you know, the irony of this, I want to contrast it with, there's this big push for the red flag laws to where a neighbor can complain, well, you shouldn't have a gun because you looked at me funny, or you cut me off in traffic, or you did this internet post. And I have a problem with red flag laws. I think they're wrong. I think they are a true violation of civil liberty because you don't have due process. But here, you know, the same people that would be in favor of stripping citizens of their Second Amendment protections and defense capabilities would be opposed to this. And yet what we've got here is we've got the opportunity for citizens to help protect our nation in a cost-effective manner that really isn't taking things into their own hands like we had patrols on the border. That's not right. This is actually law enforcement, legitimate law enforcement who are doing the interdiction. It's not the individual. All they're doing is seeing something and saying something. I think it's a great plan.